Hey, kiddos. Okay, so let's work through a couple problems before you practice or do your iReady lesson. So, we're going to find the volume of these and we're going to kind of give an explanation of how we found the volume. Some of them are going to be pretty easy. So, let's look at figure A. Figure A is pretty simple. I'm going to go ahead and start coloring in my cubes here. So let's start with red. So this is easy to see that this is the front of one cube and this is the top of that cube. So there's one. And let's do the next one in blue. Now, this is not three cubes. This is the front of the cube. This is the side of the cube. And this is the top of the cube. So for letter A, we just counted the cube. So it has a volume of 2. And all we did was counted each cube. Okay, so we have 2 cubic units. Remember, we should be writing cubic units for each of these. So because all of these are going to be unit cubes, I'm just going to put unit cubes at the top. That way I don't have to write so tiny, small. Okay, for letter B, let's color in. Again, if you don't want to color in, you don't have to, but I think in this time, this virtual learning, this stressful time of our lives, I think, a little coloring kind of is nice. So again, this top cube, we see the face of the cube, we see the top of the cube, and we see the right side of the cube. That is all one cubic unit, or one unit cube, because these are unit cubes. And then let's look at this one. So here is the right-hand side, here is the front, and here is the top of this cube. So far I'm at 2 cubes. Let's do some green here. Here I have the front of a cube, and I have the top of that cube. Let's do our last one in red. So on this rectangular prism, or Tetris cube, we have 4 cubic units, or 4 unit cubes, because these are unit cubes. And we, again, just counted each cube. Okay, letter C. Now, letter C, we can start to work with that formula, length, width, and height. So I'm going to look at this, and we have a length, coloring it in, of 3. We have a width of 1. I know I told you to look for width last. I'm sorry. And then we have a height of 2. But the important thing is here is that we are labeling. So here we have 3 cubes by 1 cube by 2 cubes. So we can do that math by doing 3 times 1 times 2, which equals 3 times 1 is 3, times 2 is 6, so we get 6 unit cubes. Now, you could do this one another way. You could we could just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like I could have counted these. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 and 2. Counting would come later, class. Because I do not want us to make that mistake of counting this piece over here and this piece over here and this top piece and this top piece and this top piece. Because this is part of 4, this is part of 5, this is a part of 6, this is also a part of 6, and this is a part of number 3. So be careful about just counting them. Okay, now letter D. This is always a fun one. Okay, letter D, we can see 1 cube there. We can see a second cube here. Now, this, we can see a third cube back here. Okay, it's not part of that red one because of this line. You can see the line there. Then we can see, so we have 1, 2, 3. We have 4. And we have, what color? Let's pick a color. Let's do orange. We have 5. Now, many of us might think that this is 5 unit cubes. However, if you think this is 5 unit cubes, that is actually incorrect. It's not 5. We can see 5 unit cubes, but are there any cubes hidden? So we see cube number 1, cube number 2, cube number 3, cube number 4, and cube number 5. Well, if you said it, cube number 5 is not floating, but there is a cube underneath. So I'm going to say number 6 is under number 5. So kind of important to remember, are there any hidden cubes? Now, we know that there are 6 cubes here, and we counted each cube. I'm going to put a little asterisk here and come down here. Even the cube hiding. Not hiding, but the cube underneath number 5. A lot of students try to do the formula here and do 2 by 2 by 2, and 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. That is also not going to work here because this is like an L shape. There are not actual 8 cubes here. We found out that there are 6 cubes here. So very, very important that we see and not make that mistake, okay? There is a hidden cube on letter D. Letter E and letter F also have hidden cubes. However, letter E and letter F, you can use the formula, length times width times height. And the reason you can use that formula because they are solid rectangular prisms. So they don't make a shape, or I shouldn't say a shape, but they don't make a complex shape like this one does. This is just a rectangle box. This is just a rectangle box. So let's start with using the formula. I will keep my colors I'll keep my colors the same. So here's my length. Here is my height, because remember, find the 2 things that are easy to find, and then just connect them with the width. Okay, so we've identified length, width, and height. Now let's label that. So we have 3 as my length, 2 as my height, and 2 as the width. So we can write the formula as 3, or the expression that is, times 2 times 2. Well, 3 times 2 is 6, times 2 is 12. So we have 12 unit cubes. Letter F, let's be precise. Let's label our length, which is 4. Let's label our height, which is 2. And let's connect the width, and that is also 2. So we're going to use the formula, length times width times height, which will equal 4 times 2 times 2, which we know that 4 times 2 is 8, and then 8 times 2 will be 16. So our answer here is 16 unit cubes. Okay, kiddos, if you have any questions on this or you need any more examples, go ahead and head over to the Help from Carmichael channel and I will help you out. If you want your work checked, also head over to the Help from Carmichael channel after you completed the work and I will help you check it. See you soon.